Hi friends, Evolving guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for following along with our collection journey. So today, as you can tell, is our Black Bolt opening. So I'm going to post this, I think I'm on a Wildcard Wednesday technically, but I really frankly couldn't wait to open this other set. We opened White Flare for Monday, so check out that video for our initial impressions of White Flare. So this is Black Bolt. We have the same two products that we're going to open that we did for White Flare, but obviously this is a split set, so you have kind of two full sets, White Flare and Black Bolt. We have the ETB right here, and then hanging out behind we have the binder collection. So those are the same two products that we opened for White Flare. These are products that are exclusive to this particular set, so these are only going to have Black Bolt packs, and the binder collection is only going to have Black Bolt packs. There are some, as I talked about on Monday, there are some products that have packs of both sets inside. The poster collection, the mini tins so far. So anyway, this is already ripped open. It's the same situation that I talked about on Monday. I have a local store, a local card shop. They specialize in sports cards, but they also carry Pokemon, and they have a policy, especially on release, is that if you let them rip it in front of you to guarantee that you're not scalping it or reselling it, or at least, you know, that helps. I guess you could still like scalp the packs inside or things like that. But, you know, I think that's maybe they're doing the best they can to sort of prevent people from just turning around and reselling it on Facebook Marketplace. So anyway, they rip it for you, but then you get to pay MSRP, which is great. So anyway, this is the ETB. Again, probably not the most efficient as far as packs go. There's 9 packs inside. We'll look at those in just one second. Depending on what you pay for this, there are going to be probably products that have a better pack value ratio. But I think opening one of these for each set, I like to open at least one ETB for each set. So you do get this player's guide. I think these are cool. I like to collect these. I have one player's guide for almost every set for which there has been an ETB, even though, of course, I wasn't collecting back in the day. From the early ETBs, you can still find these player's guides, which is, you know, short of having a sealed ETB of some of those early sets, which are very expensive. So it does go through some of the mechanics that are introduced as far as the TCG, the trading card game goes, and then you get into the set list / card list, so it shows you all the cards in the set. Again, these are split sets, White Flare, Black Bolt. Black Bolt, I think, is 1 card or 2 cards larger, but they're basically similar parallel sets. They have all the regular commons and uncommons, regular rares, double rares, and then you get here into the illustration rares. And so, again, both sets have a ton of illustration rares. I think there were 70 in White Flare. I think it's very similar. But the good news is, from what I'm seeing, early indications are that pull rates on these illustration rares are really solid, like 1 in 4 packs, which is even better than double rares in previous sets. Double rares are also similar, like 1 in 4, so you're pretty likely to pull something. I think, again, my sense of White Flare from opening it the other day is that this is going to be a really fun set to open. There's going to be a lot of hits inside. And then you have some special illustration rares. I think the Zekrom EX is really the chase card from the SIRs. And then again, both sets have these kind of black and white specials, these Victini cards, and then the Reshiram and the Zekrom for the Black Bolt. So that's a quick overview of the set itself. My sense is that maybe Black Bolt is going to be a little more coveted, but I think both sets are going to be super fun. Probably, well, in some ways hard to master, but again, I really think the illustration rares are not going to be that expensive. And I'm hoping, I mean, my fingers are crossed that supply of these are going to be pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 packs. We will take a quick look. You do get the damage counter and the dice again I talked about. I wish they had, I mean, there aren't set symbols anymore, so I guess it's a question of like what you would put there. But in the older sets before Scarlet and Violet, there were actually set symbols for each set. So the dice for that set would have the set symbol on it, which I think is kind of a cool collector's item. This is maybe less exciting as a collector's item. This is definitely not a collector's item, just the condition markers. This does have, again, the sleeves inside, which is cool, the 65 sleeves that you have there. Again, maybe not amazing for actually using for competitive play, but still you do have, we'll come back to this in 1 second. You've got, again, the new energy design, which is cool. It really harkens back to like base set era, which is very cool. So you've got those. And yeah, that is an empty box now. So we'll come back to so this, you get the 4 dividers, which again, you can keep this sealed if you want. I want to kind of rip into it. Well, actually, I don't have my scissors handy, and I do not want to tear this in such a way that hurts the cards. So I find that these don't necessarily open that easily. See if I can get it. There we go. Okay. So again, each ETB is going to have a Black Star promo. So we have Thunderous here. You can see this is number 209. So this will go in our Black Star promo binder. We'll give away the code card. There you go. And then again, you get the 4 dividers. So that's the kind of fun stuff you get. Again, you don't need like lots of those, but I think it can be fun maybe to open one of these. I like to have one player's guide. Of course, the Black Star promo we need for our promo binder. So I think it's worth it. So we're going to rip into this again. I think this set is going to be super fun. Just like White Flare is going to be fun to open. My hope is, I guess a couple of thoughts. My hope is that, again, I hope it's readily available such that you can really, like, I think this would be the kind of thing that if you can pick it up for MSRP or near MSRP, it's really going to be worth it just for the fun value, the fun cost of this. And there's some cool artworks we don't want to like rush past. I mean, all the commons and uncommons we're going to need. So it's always fun when you're opening a new set, just because all these cards are cards we're going to need for the binder. So especially these early packs are really worth it because we're going to need all this stuff. Whoops. And then we've got our first reverse Girder, our second reverse Tranquil, and just a regular, again, we looked at it the other day. This is this new kind of horizontal hollow foil pattern. I don't know what it's being called so far. And then you get the energy card and a code card. There you go. Yeah, our first pack of Black Bolt, nothing exciting, but again, we're going to, most of those cards, all those cards, because there weren't any duplicates, they're all going to go in our binder. So again, hopefully, I mean, pull rates seem really solid. We had a really good experience, I think, with White Flare. There's a lot of stuff going on in this set. You've got obviously the regular rares that you're going to be guaranteed and the 2 reverse hollows. There are Master Ball reverse hollows, so those are things you can chase and I think are going to be pretty easy to pull. I would consider that a hit. We're chasing these illustration rares, which there's a lot of them in this set and the pull rates seem solid. I mean, our experience, see, there's our first Master Ball reverse hollow, or I guess it's just, I don't know if I'm calling it, I don't see a Master Ball symbol there. I'm just calling it a Pokeball reverse. But we're going to want to collect a master set of those. So I will include that as a hit. We'll set that up there. Emolga. Oh, and our first hit, it's a double rare, Kyurem EX, but we're going to need all the double rares. It's not a very large set when it comes to just the basic set. So, I think it's, well, I guess we can look on here and see 86 cards. That's the same size as White Flare. So just 86 cards in the regular set. That's not going to be probably very difficult to master that. And then from there, you're just going to be going for these other cards, the secret rares. Again, I think my expectation is because there's so many illustration rares and just past precedent would say illustration rares, most of them end up settling between $5 and $10. Some of them are even less than $5. And there's a handful usually in each set, maybe just 1 or 2 that maintain a little bit more value than that. Professor's Research, that's good. Another regular reverse and just a bear tick, but we do need that. And another of those cool looking energy cards. There are the shiny energy cards. We want to collect a master set of those too, so hopefully we'll pull some of those. But yeah, I think most of the illustration rares in the long run are going to be pretty affordable to pick up as singles. And so I think this is the kind of set that, I would say personally, I'm going to want to open one of each product as they come out if I can get my hands on them. But I'm not going to pay, hopefully I don't have to pay super crazy prices. I really hope they print to demand and they just have so much of this on shelves that there's going to be less incentive for, the secondary market for this stuff. If you can get stuff for MSRP, again, I think the fun cost of this is going to be worth it. It's going to be fun to open. And there are some of those heavy hitter chase cards. Now there's another of the reverse hollows with the Pokeball pattern. So again, we're going to chase those. So you can get those. You can get a regular reverse. There's just another of the regular rare cards. So we haven't pulled an illustration rare yet. I would love to see, again, if you're pulling one in, if it really is the case that it's 1 in 4 or thereabouts, then we would expect to pull 2, maybe even 3 if we're lucky out of this. So We haven't pulled any yet, so I'd love to see some illustration rares. And again, there are the SIRs, which people are chasing, and then there's those. I think this is a fun set because there's all these layers to it, right? There's also the Victini and Reshiram and Zekrom, like kind of super secret rare cards. So that is an incentive. Like if you can get this, just ripping it. There's one peeking out. There's a Crystal, Elegem. I don't know how you say that, if that's right. Oh, and a Genesect. That's a double pack, so that's cool. We got 2 hits in 1 pack. So there's our first illustration rare. Again, probably a lot of these are not going to be super crazy price-wise. Ultimately, a handful of them will probably stay up. And the Genesect DX, a double rare, we're going to need all the double rares to fill out our master set, so no complaints there. Again, I think we would expect to pull a few. We're going to have, we've gotten 2 double rares, which we would, out of 9 packs, I think you'd expect around 2 double rares. You'd expect around 2 illustration rares. Obviously, we've pulled 2 of the Pokeball reverses, so maybe that's like kind of similar. Maybe it's a 1 in 4, 1 in 5, 1 in 6, something like that. And then from there, you're just kind of like with any other set, you're just hoping to get lucky with the SAR. You're hoping to get extra lucky with the Red Victini and then the Reshiram and Zekrom. So, I have seen people pull those. I mean, you look online and, there's one of the shiny. So that's kind of cool. It's got that same horizontal holofoil pattern. There's the code. So I want to get at least one of each of these for our master set. So we're going to keep chasing those. So that's another thing. There's quite a few things you can be collecting, I think, out of this set to make opening these packs fun. And again, I don't know, I'm sort of cautiously optimistic about mastering it. I mean, it's a lot of illustration rares, but again, if all of them in the end of the day, if most of them, if they're relatively easy to pull, that's going to also drive, it's going to mean you're going to pull some if you get to open some packs. You're going to pull a handful yourself, and then if they're really that readily available, then the prices on them should come down as people open more of this. That's another reason you just want to hold off. Energy coin, I think, well, yeah, we're going to want all the trainers. All right, we've done really well with the reverses. I mean, these might, again, I think ultimately they're not going to be that valuable, but the fact that we pulled 3 is pretty fun. Oh, and Bisharp, nice. We pulled another illustration rare. So again, I would hope for 2 out of these 9 packs. If we pulled more, that would be bonus. And again, Elandris, but we need all the thick cards to start with. So as far as like storing these cards, I'm excited. I've got I like Vaultex binders. I mean, I have some other binders that I use for different things, but I like that Vaultex in particular has binders that are monogrammed for each set. So they did release, they haven't in the past for special sets, they have not released special binders. Like for Prismatic Evolutions, for example, they did not release a special binder that has that had prismatics kind of monogrammed on it, and they did for this set. So this is a split set. You could get separate binders. They had separate binders for each set if you wanted to do it that way, but they also had a cool combined binder that was extra large that was going to have capacity to hold both master sets. And so I did pick up one of those. It's not going to be available. That's the thing with Vaultex is like their products usually aren't available. Okay, we just got 2 reverses and a Volcarona. Their products tend to not be available at set release. They tend to take a month or 2. I just got my Destined Rivals binder in, so I'm going to be able to put my Destined Rivals set in that, and we'll have a video about that soon. But anyway, this is our last pack, so let's see. We've done well. Like I said, I would kind of expect, based on what I'm kind of reading for pull rates, we've gotten 2 double rares, 2 illustration rares, and 3 Pokeball reverses, which feels like what we can expect. And then again, you just keep your fingers crossed that you have a little luck with pulling an SIR or with pulling, especially one of the, I don't know what they're calling it, the black and white cards. I don't know. The Victini. There's another. See, we've pulled 4 of these, so that's like an average of almost 1 in every other pack. Oh, nice. Ends plan. Very cool. Oh, that's an SAR. Nice. Look at us. We did pull an SAR. It's probably not one of the very, very top ones. I don't really know. I mean, generally the trainer ones are less coveted, but look at that. We pulled an SAR, our first SAR ends plan. Very, very cool. And then a Haxorus. So we'll put that over there. Oh, and we got another one. See, you can see there's so much going on in here. These cool holofoil patterns. You get these shiny energies. I wouldn't necessarily call this a hit, but I am going to try to collect, like I said, a master set of those. So very cool. We did super well. Yeah, cannot complain at all about that. We pulled an SAR. in our first Black Bolt booster box. So very cool. So that is the booster, or sorry, that is the ETB. There are no booster boxes. I've said that in the past too. This is a specialty set, so the products, that's the one downside of this set. So I do have the poster collection. I'm going to open it. It's pretty large to get on the screen, so I'm going to try to open it here off screen. But I mentioned that the shop where I got this, they open the box at least partially to ensure against scalping. So it does come with this binder. I don't have enough space here, so it comes with this Black Bolt binder, which some people might want. I mean, the quality of these, I think it's not like the worst quality binder that you can find, and it obviously is cool because it's got, you know, the Black Bolt stuff going on with it. But I would say it's probably not one I'm going to use as a binder for my cards. Like I said, I've got my Vault-X binder on the way, and I'll probably actually just resell those. Hopefully someone will want those. I think they're still like quality binders. And then, yeah, and then you have 5 packs come in this. It does come with this set list, and so if you're looking for a set list, you do have this one pager you can unfold. So this might be, you know, if you don't have a player's guide or if you don't want to use that, you can see it goes up to 172 cards. The Victini and the Zekrom are those 2 Super Chase cards. Yeah, Ends Plan, I can actually look and see. What number is this? 170. Yeah, so we just pulled the Ends Plan right there. We pulled one of the SIRs, which is very cool. So the binder collection comes with 5 packs. Again, I think if you really want the binder, this is a good product to get, and 5 packs is nothing to sneeze at. Again, the problem with these specialty sets is you can only get packs inside other products. You can't buy booster boxes that have just the packs, and you can't buy individually sleeved booster packs, and so you're kind of relying on these other products. And so if you don't want a binder, if you only want one binder, you know, you're paying that extra premium for the binder in this, and you are getting 5 packs, but I would say, you know, this is probably not one of those you're going to want to load up on binder collections if you don't want a bunch of binders. I think for most people, and for me too, I'm really looking forward to the booster bundles. Just has 6 packs inside. Those are probably going to be your best bet when it comes to value. Although, you know, time will tell, you know, what people are charging for these products. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh, we do have something peeking out. Oh, that we did get, again, we've had good luck with the Pokeballs. These seem to be pretty easy to pull, so that's good. We are going to want a master set. Hey, and a Servine. All right, that is an illustration rare. You got that 1 gold star, so that's a good start. Again, with just 5 packs, I would sort of expect, and there's a Kling Klang and the code. I would sort of expect, I mean, I guess realistically we should expect 1 illustration rare. I mean, if it's 1 in every 4 packs-ish, then with 5 packs, if you pulled a second, that would be bonus. It'd be great to pull, you know, a double rare. It'd be great to pull an ultra rare. Again, anything above that would be... There are no hyper rares. There are no gold cards in this set, so you're not chasing those. Those tend to be harder to pull, but they aren't as coveted, so the prices on those, they're relatively easy to pick up. And again, for us, like all these commons and uncommons are going to be needed for the binder, so I don't mind. It's kind of fun to go through those when you have a new set. There's Fennel Reverse, Elegem Reverse, and the regular reverses are fine too because we're going to need those. We want to build for me a master set, includes the complete set of reverse hollows. And now with these Pokeball reverses, you've got to add those in. So in a sense, there are, it's a lot of cards if you add them up, everything that you're hunting. But again, I really expect that a lot of those cards, if you don't pull them upon release or as you open stuff over time. I mean, if this is anything like Prismatic Evolutions or Crown Zenith or some of these other sets, you know, they're going to be dribbling out products for months and even years. So I'm really hoping that in the long run, this set is readily available. It's available to open if you want to open some. I think there's something slidey back there. Oh yeah, another Genesect. So we already do have this. There aren't a lot of double rares, I think, in this set, so it's probably likely, especially if we're going to pull them pretty often, we're going to end up with a lot of doubles. I don't know if any of I haven't had a chance to look yet if any of the cards in this set are super playable, so I don't know as far as its impact on the meta or if some of these cards, there are some double rares like here and there that, like Raging Bolt is a good example of something that like actually has some impact on the meta, and so it's a double rare that at least retains a little bit of value. It's not just bulk pricing. All right, we are down to our last couple packs. Prism Energy, that's good. I think the special energies. There's, see, another. We've really pulled a lot of these Pokeball reverses. Is it a master? I guess it is a master ball if you look. It's kind of hard to see, I'll be honest with you. But maybe these are when they say master ball. There's a Haxorus and a Thundurus regular. We haven't pulled as many of the shiny energy cards, I feel like, in this opening. All right, we're down to our last pack. So this is our first look at Black Bolt. I think like I said, I couldn't wait until next week to open this. I'm going to have other openings of this. I have some poster collection set aside. I have some mini tins set aside. So we'll be able to do that double opening with White Flare and Black Bolt together. But yeah, I think I'm pretty excited about these. Like I said, I really hope that products are readily available because I think this will be a fun set to open if you can get your hands on it. There are just, again, there's all kinds of shiny stuff happening in this set. There's some great super big chase cards in this set, but then I think you're going to still have the satisfaction versus Prismatic Evolutions, like where there were some crazy chase cards, but they were so hard to pull. That is true. I think the Victini, the black and white rares are going to be hard to pull, but the nice thing with this set is that there's other things you can pull even if you're not pulling those. There's SIRs in this set. There's a ton of illustration rares which seem like they're going to be pretty easy to pull. There's the Master Ball reverse hollows which are pretty easy to pull, and there's even just kind of the cool shiny energies. So I feel like this set has a lot going on, so I really hope that you can get your hands on some. All right, first reverse, second reverse. Just a Volcarona and nothing shiny there. There's our last code, and that is our Black Bolt opening. So I think we did really well. Like I said, with those 5 packs, I would have expected basically this. We pulled 1 illustration rare, which would be, if they're 1 in 4, then that's about right. We pulled 1 double rare, which is about right. We pulled, I think, 1 of these, and then again, we're lucky because we did pull our first SIR from either of the sets, which is very cool. So we're excited about that. All right, that's our first Black Bolt opening and impressions. We're going to have more of this stuff to open in future videos. So thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Hope you find some to open, and we'll catch you in a new video really soon.